I'm about to bring it in, man.
Yes, sir.
Kings to the city.
Hear me. You know, if you know, you know. If you don't, you better get on. Or you gonna get left. Straight up.
Hey, man, man. Kings to the city, man. Episode 8.
Yes, sir.
We got a very special one. Very special guest today, man.
Very, very, very special guest, man. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know him, man, now you know him, man. Let's welcome Coach Dukes to the city.
Coach Dukes.
Kings to the city,
Yes,
man.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, y'all quiet down, man. Y'all quiet down.
Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Autographs at the end, man. Say y'all your autographs, cameras at the end.
Young, black, and successful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, Kings to the city, man. Episode 8. It's your co-host E5.
You already know, man. Other co-host Zoe. You know what I'm saying? Also known as Mr. Insurance. You know what I'm saying? So if you need some insurance, get with your boy.
We live and direct and on set with Coach Duke today, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. You know how your boys, how your boys doing, man. I tell you what, I appreciate the love, though. I enjoy coming back and giving whatever wisdom and knowledge, understanding that I have to anybody that asks. Even the ones that don't ask. So I feel like they need it, I'm gonna give it. So appreciate that, fellas.
And I feel like as a community, man, we need that. We need a lot more people like you. You know what I'm saying? That people can look at and see, okay, yeah, he did this. You know what I'm saying? He did, and I'm gonna let you kind of touch into what you actually did. But I'm just saying, like, as far as from a perspective of like, man, that's a successful black man right there.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and that's the staple that we need in the community, because a lot of times the successful black men, they always move away from where they needed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
the young kid ain't growing up seeing Coach Duke's house. He growing up and seeing nigga in the trap house. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that black guy around, you know what I'm saying, that black successful guy around, it give kids that motivation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming today, man, and bringing your perspective.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, though, fellas. It's all about understanding what you want, because it ain't never about where you're from.
Right.
It's all about where you want to go. So that's the key to really my success.
So talk about that. Talk about who. So for all of our viewers that don't know who Coach Dukes is, you know what I'm saying? I know Coach Dukes, but I really don't know Coach Dukes. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you know what I'm saying, kind of on the surface conversation. So this is going to be interesting and new to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So for our viewers that really don't know who Coach Dukes, man, who is Coach Dukes, man?
Yeah, I'm from Conway, so I'm, right up the road from here, from North Myrtle Beach area. I grew up on Race Path in Conway. That's where my granny stayed at. And but I live on the Cochran Project side. So from Cochran Project to Race Path is really where I'm from. I grew up in the city like any other, young man, young lady in that area. So, but just growing up, I stayed in a lot of situations, a lot of trouble. From 9 to 15, I was in and out of either probation, juvenile, facility.
Wow.
Whatever the case may be. So I had a lot of trouble along the way, but I don't regret any of it, because it made me who I am today.
Right.
It just, I just had to find my way, and I found it before it was too late.
And now, did you, as far as like growing up, what sports were you into?
I always been a football player. I did a little bit of basketball too, but football was my thing. Football was definitely my thing. I was always a smaller kid, so I was always quick and fast. So I played running back, and I always played some, some form of defense. Start off as DB in rec league, but by the time I got to the high school level, it moved from running back to linebacker, and those are the two that I always played coming through Conway.
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's dope. And another thing, like I know, my cousin, you close with Donald, right?
Yeah, that's my brother.
Yeah, that's your brother.
See, Donald and I, not really.
Right. Okay.
But Donald and I grew up together from the beginning, also from the sandbox.
Word.
Always played rec together. All the middle school B teams. Man, Donald, man, that's my dog. So let me tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you guys a story about Donald. We was in Huckabee Heights, right? In the projects, because Donald used to stay in the projects, back in the day. And I think this was elementary or the beginning of middle school. I can't remember. But Donald got in trouble, right? Punishment. And so they lived on the second floor in the projects. So the projects had stairs in it, right? So Donald room was on the second floor, so he couldn't come outside. Man, this joker jumped out the window and broke his arm. Trying to come outside.
He broke his arm.
That joker broke his arm, man. So that's how far we go way back, man. Me, Donald Tyrn, Charles Smalls, you know, it's a lot of us, man. I don't want to miss nobody. Kumo, my cousin Kumo, Chris Bowman. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but Tremaine, that's my blood cousin. Tyre, my blood cousin. All those guys on Race Path. You know, so you know, it's a lot of us. The Loans, you know, Too Tall, Travis, Cord. You know, all us. You know, it's a lot of us. But yeah, man, it's always been us, man, and we kind of had to find our ways, and all of us done been through the system and all this and that too. So with certain things, but now when I look back, you know, we got a few on passed away due to, you know, street stuff, but for the most part, you know, we all successful at this point.
Dope.
You know, we still got some of them out there still doing anything, but for the most part, most of us successful, even though we came through that, you know, through that struggle.
Right. And I know a lot of times, like it's like we was talking about earlier, it takes that, you know what I'm saying, not even indirectly, you don't realize what's going on, but it kind of take you going through that to get to where you at today, and it instill the qualities in you today that needed for you to succeed now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Overcome adversity, you know what I'm saying? Just little stuff like that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So when it comes to facing adversity, what's some advice you can give just the youngsters as far as facing adversity and how to deal with it and how to use that energy, you know what I'm saying, to good energy?
Right. See, the thing about adversity, man, you know, let me say this right here though in the beginning. See, in the beginning, when you're coming through the hood, everybody going through the same struggle. So you don't really see a lot of the struggles because you think it's normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't realize you ain't really got much or this and that ain't right. But as you get a little older, that's when you really start understanding the adversity and the struggle and the things that you gotta start thinking about on how you're gonna get this and that. So when you face that adversity, you know, it's all about adversity. There's two things gonna come from it. Either you're gonna tuck your tail and you're gonna fold and just accept it for what it is, or you're gonna become more like hungry and understand that
lion.
Man, I gotta go through this right here, man. This ain't nothing that's gonna like I can't fail.
You gotta get through it.
This can't break me.
Right.
So I gotta get it. Right. So with me, that was always my mindset. I ain't never been one to fold. I ain't never been one to tuck my tail about nothing.
Right.
So I always attack anything came my way. That was a struggle because that's just who I was. And by me attacking that and getting through that, whatever it was, it took me to another level once I got through it.
Right.
And so I became addicted to it.
Right.
So anything that came my way that was a struggle, I'm gonna hit it head on, and I'm gonna push through it until I eventually get through it, and I just kept going up.
And like we were saying earlier, it's always a positive in every negative.
Every negative.
There's an equivalent advantage with every I would say temporary failure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what would you say was like when did it click in your head that you needed to change?
Let me say this right here though. Let me back up real quick, because the thing about adversity, like all of us in here different, right? Mm-hmm. So we're all gonna have our struggles and our adversities that we're gonna have to go through in order to become who we are, right? So the adversity that I had to face, I couldn't help who I was born in, you know, who I was born from and what I was born into, right? Mm-hmm. But I had to be that in order for me to be who I am now. Right. So by me being from that and being who I am, it molded me and carved and turned me into now Dr. Dukes. Right. You see what I'm saying? So if I was from a 2-parent background, living in a nice gated community, ain't had no struggles or nothing, like I wouldn't be who I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that, like, I went to face the adversity I faced. I wouldn't have been through the things I've been through that forced me to think the way I needed to think at a certain time.
Right.
You know, those are the things that molded me into who I am. And that's what we got to understand as each individual, is that sometimes we're going to go through things that may be different from this person and that person and this person, but it's molding you and making you and shaping you into the person that you have to be as an individual.
Right.
Right? So back to your question, when I was 14, right, I just came back from being up the road, right? By this time, my cousin Curtis got killed. You know, we on Reach Path. My cousin Checkmate, you know, he passed away also. You know, I done lost too many people early and seen so much early where everything I was doing wasn't working. So I felt like I was going in a circle.
Right.
So with me being a hustler at an early age and doing what I had to do, I said, okay, let me try something different, right? So I started putting the same mindset with, with my same hustling mindset and work ethic and discipline that I, had developed with myself over the years, just from, running through the streets early. I started putting it in my schoolwork, right? I said, let me see if this thing will work. Let me see if this education thing will work, right? So
energy.
yeah. So, but the thing was though, I was a special ed kid. I had an IEP.
Wow.
Right?
Because I know that. That's crazy.
I had an IEP because I had a lot of behavior issues, and I had a speech impediment. I used to stutter a lot.
Why you on that right there? Right. I don't know if you into Dr. Umar Johnson.
Yeah. I mess with Dr.
Because he always talks about the special education and how they always take, black kids and throw them kind of, throw them into
the side.
Throw them into those programs like that. You know what I'm saying?
Because they don't know how to deal with them.
Right.
It come from, when you in a predominantly white school where your teachers are all white, your counselors are all white, principal, administrator, they don't understand that kid.
Right.
So by them not being able to understand, they're gonna push them in the special ed program,
right.
separate them from the population, right? So, but in reality, if there's a teacher that can relate to that kid, that understood that kid could progress and move forward and probably be one of the smartest persons in that school.
Right.
But without them having that relatability, that relatability capability to influence and reach that kid, they push them to the side, right?
Right.
So now, by me being a special ed kid, now I struggle with reading and I struggle with math. So my levels was real low when I came home. I was a sophomore when I came back, right? So I was probably reading on the 5th grade level, and I probably doing math on the 4th grade level.
That's crazy.
That's how low I was, right?
Wow.
So with that, I said, okay. So I took the same mindset. I said, okay. So the same all-nighters I used to pull selling crack, I'm gonna start pulling the same all-nighters studying. Cause see, when I was coming through school, they had all the answers in the back of the book.
Right.
So you could do the schoolwork, and then you could check the answer to see if it's right.
Yeah, right? They used to have kind of feel off about when we got about middle school. But I remember them books.
Yeah. So now I'm reading. I'm reading that night. And, seeing if I got this and that right. So I flipped to the back, got that right, got missed that. Okay, let me go back and try to. So I started using my same work ethic of grinding, just putting it in my books because I wanted to educate myself. I wanted to know more. I wanted to understand more so that I could, so that I could progress in the right way.
Right.
So when I start doing that and I kept doing that, it worked, right? So my mom ain't graduate high school. My sister ain't graduate high school. My dad ain't graduate high school.
That's crazy.
So I'm the only one out of my family graduate high school. I ain't even gonna talk about college yet.
That's crazy.
We talking about high school right now, right?
Oh man.
So
that's crazy. Bro.
So by me just grinding and staying on top of, so when I came back also, Mr. Squadman, right? He brought me in. My Aunt May took me to my meeting. My Aunt May was on my aunt that also raised me. So my Aunt May took me to my meeting because before I got sent off, I was banned for Horry County schools. I couldn't come back to Horry County schools. So Mr. Squadman, said, come out, Monday, have this meeting. We're gonna see if we're gonna send you to the alt or we're gonna possibly let you back in school. So, for what reason they decided to let me back in school. But I had a contract where I had to play sports all year and I couldn't get unnecessary tardies, couldn't miss school, I couldn't do nothing. So I was really on a system contract.
Set schedule type where they making sure they kind of giving you other options so you don't even got time to be.
Right. But it's the thing though, the way they set that contract up, by them they knowing me from who they knew that I wasn't gonna make it. Right?
Right.
But I said, but at this point, my mind already made up. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this right here. So that's how I ended up getting in wrestling, actually, because I had to play sports all year.
Right.
So after football season, I had to go to wrestling, right? So I got real good in it. And I did well. But make a long story short, with that part of the high school, phase, I graduated high school. And that was a accomplishment because, see, I look at it, see where I'm from. You graduate high school, that's like shit. You might as well graduate from college too.
Right.
That's like a college degree.
Right.
A lot of my people don't have high school diplomas.
Right.
So that's big. So, you really just seeing my mama smile, man, made me want more.
Right.
So I said, okay, I gotta go to this college thing, try to stay in, because anybody ever thought I was gonna make it this far anyway.
So I got a question too. So so when you finish high school, right? Because like you was just saying, and then especially in our communities, like you say, finishing high school, going to get the city job or going to get somewhere like if you do that, you are like top tier,
right?
In the black, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like that's top. You graduated high school and you got you a straight job.
Down the road.
You know what I'm saying? Making $20, you top tier.
Right.
If you just stay there, what was that extra driver like?
That extra
It
push.
sound good what y'all saying, but
Right.
something else. You know what I mean?
I've been too hungry, man. I done had too many nights where, I opened that refrigerator and nothing in there. So I done, so just by me getting a taste of the high school diploma, it has made me want. Well, first I proved to myself that I could do this,
Trust
Right.
yourself.
right? So,
Right.
and I felt like at that point, shit I've been through. Shit, I've been hard. This right here ain't. So shit, let me keep going. Let me see what else I can do, right? So I had 2 wrestling scholarships. I could have went to Citadel or Newberry to wrestle. I said, football my thing. So I went to North Greenville and walked on and earned a scholarship. I've been 3 years starter since then.
Word.
But the thing is, my mindset always been, you ain't been through what I've been through. You ain't done what I've done. You ain't seen what I've seen. You ain't been, so you ain't gonna outwork me. Now, you might come from, everything that's nice and pretty, your mama into daddy, but I don't care about none of that. You ain't gonna outwork me, right? So that's how I separated myself from most people. I've been too hungry, and nobody can line up with me. And I feel like ain't nobody can outwork me, ain't nobody can outdo me. So that's how I was able to plow my way to where I'm at.
Now, how would you say, like, because I feel I'm the same way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I don't care who you is. I don't feel like you're going to outwork.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that kind of comes out, like, when I'm expressing it. But some people might take that as you're arrogant or you cocky. How you want to respond on that?
They gotta take it how they want to take it. Yeah. But at the same time, like, just understand, like, confidence is cockiness and confidence is 2 different things. I'm confident in me. I know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
It ain't about me just boasting and bragging and being cocky, because I don't talk like that. I don't be on that.
Right.
But I am gonna let you know what I'm gonna do if you feel like you're gonna be able to try to do me something and what I'm trying to get to.
Right.
Like if I feel like you in my way, like, I'm gonna let you know you ain't gonna do that. It ain't gonna happen. You understand me? So
And you're not going to talk to me any type of way.
yeah, no, I ain't going for that now. But see, this is the thing. A lot of people get those 2 mixed up,
Yeah.
cockiness and confidence.
Right.
Nah, I know me, right? So I know what I'm gonna do. So
Right.
but if you feel, that's on them on how they perceive that.
Right.
Right. I can't feel sorry for someone who taking my confidence as being cocky, because that's something they dealing with.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with me.
You can't
Right.
change how somebody
I can't
interprets.
change how someone interprets something.
Right.
But I'm just letting you know what I'm gonna do.
Right. Straight up.
Right. Yeah.
Take it how you want to take it.
Yeah, it is.
That's something I've been.
That's on you if you take it in that kind of negative form, but it's never meant for that.
Right. Because I feel like either you gonna get motivated by what somebody telling you,
Right,
or you
right.
gonna get jealous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to push that energy out anyway. Why not use someone else's situation and get motivated?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my thing. Like, when I first got into my my business, as far as insurance and stuff, my business partner, she's like one of those confident people.
Right.
And when I first started going to there, she'll show me, like, straight up, like, I just made this this month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, just based on the energy, I could have went back and was like, lady trying to brag, trying to show me this. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, nah, I'm trying to get what you got.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Motivation is
yeah.
all about the energy you putting out. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. See, now I'm gonna show you too. I'm gonna teach you. If you want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna just force myself on you. But if you want something, or I see you going a direction, and I gotta speak on that, because I gotta give you what I got.
Right.
I gotta give you that wisdom. Right. See, a lot of people think their gifts and talents is meant to be kept to themselves.
Right.
God ain't give you that for you to keep that to yourself.
So shine that light.
That's
Man,
dope.
you gotta shine. Man, think
dope.
about Christmas, right?
That's dope.
All right, Christmas, right? You buy gifts, you give them to your people, right? Because that's how you feel about them, because that's what they need, or you buy the things they, you think they need, right? Or want.
You want, yeah.
Ain't no different than the gifts and talents we got inside of us.
Right.
We got to get them away.
That's dope.
This ain't, like, these gifts ain't for us. Like, these gifts and talents is for us to give to other people.
We
You
servants.
understand me? So, yeah, that's what it's about. So now where I'm at right now in my life, God done showed me, like, the life I live is bigger than me. This is it's my life, but it ain't about me no more. Like, it ain't about me. It's a reason why I was able to come through what I came through and still living and still here. Because I got to get us back. I got to show the people, all my young kids like myself coming through that struggle, all they see is what they see every day. You see that hustling, you see the gang banging, you see the female walk, like money, but it's bigger than that. Like, we could look past that and see something different.
Right.
So that's why I'm here, because cause now they can look at me and see me and touch me and say, man, this nigga, like he from right here.
Right.
And
I have
he
other
done,
options.
You know, so now I know I could do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now I got hope because I see, you know, that I see he did that.
They see it's possible.
And just like we was talking about earlier, but it's a whole different ball game if, you know what I'm saying, coach Dr. Dukes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call you coach, I'm Dr. Dukes. It's a whole different ball game when Dr. Dukes he do all that, and then shit he living in Houston, Texas, and all you seeing is on Facebook. Dr. Dukes doing good. He look like he doing good, but and then you know what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of the times, like when us as black men, when we start to get that type of some type of success, we really kind of abandon, you know what I'm saying, the youth, bro. And like they need us to see like this is possible.
They the future.
Absolutely.
Always, I feel like we always like just trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
You know, it hurt my feelings though because you know, we can't take from the hood and allow the hood to make us and mold us and become who we are and then take off. You know, don't get me wrong. I know sometimes certain jobs open up where you gotta go.
Opportunity.
You know, I understand that
For sure.
But just cause, you know, especially when you someone that's really, you know, highly valued, highly looked at, and highly, you know, respected. You know, sometimes we gotta sacrifice ourselves and say, I gotta be here because they need me. My people need me. That's why I was just saying earlier. It ain't about me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? My life is bigger than
I got a question for you too.
than me right now. So that's why every opportunity I get to do these, you know, these kind of things, that way I could give back or share some light, some wisdom. I gotta do it because I don't know who's listening.
Right.
You know, I don't know who life I'm about to motivate or change just by them hearing me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right now.
Right, for sure. How do you feel about the because it's kind of on that topic. How you feel about the Deion Sanders Colorado situation?
Man, you know, it's a
I
tough
ain't even heard
topic,
about
but
that.
you know, I like Deion, and you know, I respect what he did. See, I think a lot of times, I don't remember him saying he's gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't remember him saying he's gonna be there forever.
Right.
I feel like what Deion did in those 3 years should be highly applauded and highly respected because he put HBCU on the map that never been done before.
Right.
I mean, he brought so much. I mean, not just to Jackson State, the whole HBCU. I mean, you cut the game on those Saturdays, you see HBCUs playing on TV.
National
That
television.
ain't never been done. National TV. That ain't never been done before he did what he did and the things he was bringing to the program.
Right.
As far as, you know, Jackson State and HBCU itself. So I feel like we got to understand the man got to do what he got to do.
Right.
But within those 3 years, we got to respect that and be grateful and thankful that he even took the time to even go that route and do what he did. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I'm still ride with Deion, man. 'Cause I think he did what he needed to do with the time God gave him in those 3 years to do what he needed to do. I feel like he did it to the max.
That's one thing that people don't understand too. He put people in position.
Right.
So TC Taylor, who just took over as the head coach, Deion brought him on the staff too.
That's dope.
So like when he went to Colorado, he got from when I was coaching in Florida in Lee County, one of the high schools, like the head coach of my rival high school, he got hired on at Colorado.
Wow, for real?
Wow.
That's
Oh,
dope.
you talking about
that's crazy.
I ain't
Talking
know
about
that.
strength and
So that's where he
conditioning
at
coach,
now?
The strength conditioning coach from down there and the head coach from down here. The head coach at Lehigh High School in
Yeah,
Florida.
Bud, I played with, he a little older than me. I seen him play. Richard Taylor. He just hired him as a strength.
He went to Marlboro County.
Marlboro County.
I know
Played
exactly
at
what you're
Clemson.
talking
That's
about.
dope.
Hired him as a strength conditioning coach.
He was at Clark Atlanta. I
Yep.
think. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's where he was at.
Yeah.
So
He just got hired on.
kind of what happened is, Deion Sanders was at Jackson State HBCU.
Right.
And so basically what everybody's kind of what's the controversial topic and everything. So Colorado offered him a job at Jackson State. I think it said his salary was like $400,000 a year or something. Colorado came said $5 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Better facilities, better program, better everything. But people were saying him being at Jackson State was more bigger than money as far as he was changing the whole landscape of the HBCU. And some people say that they felt like he kind of basically just said, what the hell with that? I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? I'm chasing the bag type joint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what some people's argument is as far as like, well, damn, like sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to sacrifice because if you really think about in history, every time that so like think about when desegregation happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when segregation was going on, even though it was tough times for us as people, our black communities and our black businesses and our everything was flourishing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when the desegregation happened, or you know what I'm saying, as far as we're able to now be in their restaurants, be it in, you know what I'm saying, hotel, everything, water fountains, everything. We kind of abandon our, you know what I'm saying, our community to go for the nicer looking things.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That was kind of the, like, cause I see both sides. I'm a person I'm objective, cause I can see why Deion Sanders did it, and I can see why people are saying, dang, like, you know what I'm saying, like that's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And that caused a lot of the mom and pop, like back in the day, mom and pop stores closed down because nobody want to eat no more. Because of course, like you say, you at the mom and pop spot, you might got the food good, but you go Benihana's, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? What's your opinion on that?
Let me say this. See, Deion, he, like I said earlier, he did what he did, within those 3 years to the best of his abilities, right? It ain't no money thing. I mean, it possibly could be, but man, come on, it's Deion Sanders, multi-millionaire, right?
Right.
So let's look at the perspective that he made us saw it as. You know what? I feel like I done outgrew this area. I done outgrew this school in this position. So why not let me go to a slightly little more bigger platform? That way I could just reach more kids at the same time also.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So maybe he was looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
That now that I can reach more. Because Deion a solid guy.
Right.
I mean, he got a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and he give these kids the game on life, not just football. Football just his platform.
Right.
He give a lot of these kids the game of life, and I'm looking at it as that's the route. That's why he took that route.
Right.
I'm not gonna look at it as money. He abandoned the people and all that. Nah, because at the end of the day, Deion know why he left. He know why he did what he did. But from my perspective, I'm looking at it because just the way he moved and the way he interacted with these kids on and off the field, it was more so now he has a bigger platform that he can reach more. Right? So
I feel like we as humans got to evolve. You know what I'm saying?
Evolve.
Evolution.
Right.
So
Evolve.
what we call that, he was there for 3 years. That's Progression Boulevard.
absolutely.
Right.
So he had no choice but to progress. So that was just the next step. That was the next thing.
Yeah. Played in 2 national championships on that level, back to back.
Yep.
So at that point, you're like, okay, I done got everything as far as on a competitive level, the highest I could go here. So now I got to get to the next level.
Right.
So
And he was donating with half his salary to update the facilities
that's
too,
what
right?
they say. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Just to do that, like people, he just like somebody giving half of their salary, like bro, you can't overlook that.
No.
Now, how much money somebody got?
So that let you know right there. That should let you know right there. It's not a money move. It's not a money thing.
Right.
I mean, he don't need it. It's more so. I believe, how many kids he can reach.
Right.
How many more kids he can reach.
For sure, that's dope.
Make that
That's dope.
difference.
So I would so talk about like you said, we was just saying earlier, Dr. Duke. You know what I'm saying? So like we talked about the upbringing and you know what I'm saying, the obstacles and the different trials and tribulations you had to overcome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you said you went to North Greenville, played ball. You know what I'm saying? That was huge just to get there. As far as where you came from to even just graduate, bro, with a bachelor's degree, you could have been like, I'm straight. Like, man, people, I'm in the 1% in my community just with the bachelor's degree. You know what I mean?
Right.
What like you, and I know you say you hungry, but like what like when somebody look at me, I'm like, this is a whole different ball game. And Coach Duke, Mr. Duke, I'm doctor.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Put some respect on it.
Put some respect on that. You know what I'm saying? Talk about that, man. What made you want to pursue that doctorate degree?
Because once I got that undergrad degree, man, I felt like this guy just ain't let me know that. Like he ain't tell me okay that was it. So what happened was in the 3rd round of playoff my senior year in December, right? I tore my knee up. I'm sorry, I tore my bicep first. First play on defense, I popped my bicep, right? So I said, damn. And I'm the emotional leader. I'm the one to get everybody locked in, ready to roll. I'm playing middle linebacker, right? Outside linebacker, wheel. I'm playing wheel linebacker, weak inside linebacker, right? So I'm like, I gotta go. So I kept playing. I ain't tell nobody, so I kept playing. My bicep killing me the whole game, but still playing, still rolling. 4th quarter of the game, I tore my knee up. Boom. So I'm like, damn, we're playing Delta State too, so, we almost there. See, this one, Willie Corn, y'all know Willie Corn, right? He's the quarterback. I think he was at Coastal not too long ago, now he's going to Liberty, but anyway, he was our quarterback. My cousin T was at defensive end, big boy. So we was out there balling, man, doing our thing. So I'm like, man, I got to keep rolling. And the game got over, we lost by a few points, right? So we get back on the plane, I get home. Now I got to have surgery. I got to have knee surgery, bicep surgery. So I was forced to take that semester off. So I had to come back home and have my surgery, do all my rehab down here because my school's on the mountain. and during that time of the in January, December, it started to snow, right? So I couldn't go back on the hill. So I stayed home, did all my rehab, and went back that fall and graduated in December. So when I graduated, the coach came. He was like, Coach, he's like, Carl, I want you to come back, man. I want you to be a graduate assistant in the strength and conditioning program, right? So I said, dang, okay. So that means you get to do all the strength and conditioning for all the sports, and I'm going to pay for your masters. I said, all right. I said, Coach, you got
That's
it.
crazy. Yeah, you can't beat that.
Can't beat it. So I said, okay, I'm coming. So I came, did that, and I finished that degree. That's when I came to North Myrtle Beach and did some things there. But I still wasn't certified.
Yep.
So I really started from the bottom, even after I got my master's, right? So I came here, I came as a special education aide.
Wow.
Right? So I'm working, I came in 2015, special education aide. And so I said, okay, damn, I like this, right? And me being a special ed kid coming through high school, I was like, this is what I need. I got to work with my type of kids, behavior kids, trouble kids from the inner city. They're going to have all that. I'm going to understand them. I got them.
Right.
So I said, okay, let me start Francis Marion. So I started Francis Marion that following January, get my certification. It was another master's degree. It was in special education, learning disabilities, K through 12. So I went through that program for a year and a half, knocked it out, right? So now I'm certified. So that next year, that's when I got hired on as a certified teacher.
Okay.
And then so once I got that, I was like, damn, I still feel like I got an undergrad, 2 masters at this point, but at the same time, I'm still hungry for knowledge. I'm still hungry for education.
Right.
In my mind, I want to be the best. I want to know everything.
Right.
Always been that way. So I said, okay, man, let me try this doctorate degree. Right. So it came on me. So I applied for it. I applied for the program and got accepted into the program. And once I got accepted, man, it's been a long 4 years, and knocked it out.
That's crazy.
Really, that's what it was, man. I just wanted to be the best in everything I did and do, but I wanted to understand certain things. But then again, I knew if I put myself in position, knowing who I am,
right,
I could change a lot of things,
right,
because I'm somebody that's going to look at everything from the inside out,
right,
instead of from the outside in,
right,
because I understand this. So now I can bring the proper resources and supports that we need for our young men and women to really succeed to the level that they need to. Right. So back to what we were saying earlier about Dr. Umar, how we saying how kids are placed over here, and see, I could change all that.
Right.
Because I know that's not the case. Maybe for that student, he don't need that.
Right.
He just need to work with maybe this teacher, this counselor a little more.
Right.
In order for him to grow and develop and get the way he need to go.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Like, you ever sit back and think like, how rare you are? Like, as a black man with a doctorate degree, like, have you ever sat back and been like, have you ever did statistics? Been like, I really want to know what's the statistical analysis on like a black man coming from, you know what I'm saying, from
specific area, from, you know what I'm saying, specific area.
Like that. I feel like
inner city, how they put it in with the, you know what I'm saying,
doctorate degree.
with the doctorate degree.
Yeah, like you ever looked at that?
I never looked at it. And then also an age thing could be one too, because I'm 33 years old, man.
That's crazy.
And I got undergrad, 2 masters, and a doctorate. 33 years old.
33.
So the thing is though, it's just really just for me wanting to encourage and motivate all our men and women, from these inner cities, man.
It need to be
that's crazy, bro.
Like, I mean, it need to be more doctor degrees than you know what I'm saying, the guns on the street. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I would say this, we have a lot of Trojan horses, you know what I'm saying? Trojan horses is people, you know what I'm saying, they see what's going on, or see, you know what I'm saying, what's on TV, or, you know what I'm saying, the rappers, and, you know what I'm saying, that's they Trojan horse, they pushing that. So instead of having Trojan horses, you know what I'm saying, what's your input on changing the course?
Right.
You know what I'm saying, as far as having more kids, you know what I'm saying, because it's more kids that is easily to get a, you know what I'm saying, get a gun on the street. Like, that's like they're putting that energy as far as like, I want to, you know what I'm saying, I want to get a gun. That's what you put your energy towards. I mean, the same way that you put your energy towards finding that gun, or, you know what I'm saying, having that gun, and it's 20 of y'all, all y'all got guns, but it's 0 of y'all that have degrees.
Right.
How do you make that the norm, or like, you know, the input on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the thing. See, this comes from understanding our kids, understanding the environmental situation they're living in. So 13, I bought my first when I was 13. I gave my homeboy $47 for a 25. So, see, the thing is, we can't say, man, you gotta put that gun down, man. You need to Okay, I put it down. Now what?
Right.
So what kind of resource you bringing to me where I don't have to pick that gun up,
Right.
where I don't have to, go do what I need to do to eat, if I don't have to hustle.
Right.
So you telling me to put it down, but what are you bringing to the city, to the community?
Right.
They help me change that course.
Right.
So these young men is not gonna put their guns down or stop hustling if we ain't bringing the proper
resource.
Man, when I was coming through, we had, man, in the projects, we had that center. The center was always open. So after school, we'll go to the center, we'll do our schoolwork, and then, they give us pizza, little snacks and whatnot, and then we good. Now, man, we don't have no YMCAs, we don't have no centers in the neighborhoods and the projects no more.
Right.
We don't have no kind of mentoring programs, right? And, if they do have something, they want to charge the kids.
Exactly.
You can't bring something to the hood and then try to charge the kids $5 for whatever the case may be. No, that got to come to the city and to the hood to help support, and it got to be real. And you got to have the right tutors and the right support systems and the right counselors that's going to bring that love and support to our kids. Because a lot of our kids, a lot of them be traumatized early because they didn't see so much. It's about going outside their front door.
Right.
So we got to bring these counseling services, these tutoring, these tutoring teachers is gonna understand our kids and build a relationship with our kids so that our kids could become excited about learning. Because you can't just bring anybody in the city,
right,
and think they're gonna be able to tutor and help this kid. Because if a kid don't trust you or don't feel like he understand you or can relate to you, he ain't gonna deal with you.
Been lost.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the key to us telling our kids to put these guns down, stop selling drugs, this and that, we got to bring the right resources to the city, man.
Right.
Because, we can't take something and not bring something back in.
Right. And that's been one of our biggest things as far as actually creating this platform.
Right.
Of course, the podcast, you know what I'm saying, that's what we're doing, but it's more of a media company because we know a lot of these kids, we seeing them, TikToks and YouTube channels, and that's the new thing.
Yeah.
So we open up a space and allowing kids, hey, you don't got to do that. Come here. You know what I'm saying? You can use any of this equipment that we got, anything, use this, come here. Like, I'd rather pull up and see you here than me pulling up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? You ask me about the peas. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see you here, like, hey, tell me something about the channel. How I use that. I use that machine over there. Then I'm come. Where the peas at? You know what I'm saying? Like that was our main thing as far as starting this whole thing. Like that's what is behind.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
Other than just the you know what I'm saying, the podcast studio, we got a plethora of things, you know what I'm saying, for the youth. You know what I'm saying, if they want to learn how to do photography, videography, we got music studio. We also just questions that kids want to ask as far as like business consulting, LLCs and stuff of that nature.
And then another thing too, I don't know if you ever noticed, not to cut you off, bro. Like we put on events at the in our hometown at the Poplar Park. We put on basketball 3v3, 4v4 basketball tournaments. Just come out and just come out and say you want to play.
Absolutely.
You win, we gonna get $500, $1,000 grand prize. Just come out.
Yeah.
Something different. You know what I mean? Just it don't matter what it is, man. That's and I feel like the more you receive, the more you got to give back to your people, man.
Got to, man. You got to, dog. You got to.
Yeah, and the more you put down, the more you pick up.
When you pick up, for sure.
Now, when I was at North Myrtle Beach, I had my, doing COVID. Like I said, I'm a hustler, man. So I'm like, man, I got to get out of this house, man. So that's when I created that lawn care business, right? So I had that lawn care, business booming on the beach up. And with that lawn care business, I would only hire my kids. So you see 4 or 5 kids with me.
Dope, man.
And we got to grind and getting it in, right? So I put money in the pocket, feed them. But at the same time, I'm teaching them a trade.
Right.
I'm teaching them a skill.
Right.
I'm giving them something else that they could learn and do and that they can graduate with, knowing how to do. Right. I only teach them how to cut the grass, how to weed eat, how to edge, how to lay that side. I'm going to teach them the business side of it also. Right. So that's what we have to do as men that got something going on. We got to reach back to our kids, man, and teach our kids how to be men.
Yeah, because I feel like it's always opinion. Like we'll tell, stop this, stop that, close this place down, close that place down. But once you close that place down, what is it going to be? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think a lot of times too, man, it's like it's kind of like the school, the school system what they're teaching, because you have a kid that, like you said, like his like you said, his dad maybe have been a auto mechanic,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And that's what he want to do. But this kid might be walking around school thinking he's a failure because he failed geometry because he don't know how to solve for a quadratic formula.
Right.
When we all grown, we know that's not nothing you need to, you know what I'm saying, if you want to be an auto mechanic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like the whole school curriculum, like, that needs to be like what they're teaching, like okay, the sciences, the maths, all of that need to be at the academy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The high schools need to be like trade schools, and if your desire is to go to the next level, become a doctor, lawyer, or whatever you're trying to do, those kids need to be pushed to the academies. The regular high schools, bro, need to be what the average kid is gonna do. But because you have a kid, bro, that literally walking around think they're a failure, bro, because they don't know how to they don't know how many atoms are in in damn sodium, bro. Like what?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like and he failed science, and he walking around with a low ass GPA, thinking he's a failure. But all he want to do is fix some cars the whole time.
Right.
The
He
college
going through life thinking he a failure, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
See, I don't push that. See, I'm with you. I don't push kids gotta go to college or kids gotta see. I give them 4 options. I say, look here, once you graduate high school, right? You either go to tech, get you a trade, whether it's welding, HVAC, whatever, culinary, whatever it is you want to do, or you can go to college if that's what you want to do, or you got the military, or you go straight into the workforce. But I see what you're saying with the high school. Now, high school, see, the thing about high school, our kids do need, see, back in the day now, we used to have a lot of the trade schools in the high school, right? But they took them all out.
It's crazy.
And now they, develop all these academies that your kids got to qualify for when
They
they
got
to
it
go.
backwards.
So that's the thing. It shouldn't even be. They should just be able to pick and choose. By the time they're sophomore, junior, they should understand, okay, this is what I really want to try, right? So let me go over here to barbering school. Let me go over here to welding school. Let me go over here to take biology labs over here, so I can go towards a doctor route. Whatever it is that our kids want to do, we got to make those resources available.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be certain qualifications that disqualify them.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember, bro, like, why do I need to know 4 ways to solve a multiplication problem, bro? Like, why do I need? And this is like real deal. Like you will look like a failure, bro, because you don't like that.
Right.
Like, bro, like let's be honest. Like, you need to know how to count, bro. You need to know how to add, subtract, multiply, divide. Know your history a little bit, which the history they telling us is that's a whole nother topic. So, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm
That's
saying?
a whole,
Bro, you need to know the
that's a
basic.
whole
You need to know the basics of all of these subjects, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, to make it in life, bro. But like these kids, bro, really be walking around thinking they failures, bro, because they don't know how to damn balance out a sign. They don't know the Pythagorean theorem of a man. Come, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Bro, want to be a landscaper, bro. He about to start. You know what I'm saying? He about to start this landscaping business. Teach him about credit, LLC, how to do that, bro. Like
Real life stuff.
and he
Finances,
really walking around thinking they're a failure, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a steady progress of rebuilding and revamping and improving. That's gonna come. It's gonna come.
For sure.
Yeah, they got a movie called Lottery at Birth, and it's about how just employment, just the overall landscape of the United States, right? But how kids, or how we, when we go through that educational system, they kind of set it up to the workforce.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the people who go against that become the people who are the entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But it's called Lottery at Birth. But it's
check that out.
they sent it to me. I had to do it for like a school assignment when I was out there in California. But it's a good movie that kind of explains how they, like, you know how we sit down in 8 hours in the class, 8 hours at work.
Right.
So it's a lot of stuff that makes sense.
Right.
Within how they kind of trying to set you up for the workforce.
And I really don't know like 100%, but I would.
So I don't mean to cut you off. So is that on Netflix? Like, where can we watch that from?
Lottery at Birth. Lottery at Birth was like a school. It was like school curriculum.
Oh, okay.
So you could probably find it on YouTube. You could find it on the internet.
Probably, yeah.
But it was like on some little host thing that you do on like the actual. We got it from the library, so it was something on the library. But I'm pretty sure it's either on Netflix or it's either on.
So it's like a documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary. It's really good.
Got you.
It's really good, but it explains different even different topics within that frame.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
I'm gonna check that out.
It's
Check
really
that out,
good.
check that
Lottery
yeah.
at birth. I had to write a book and all type of stuff. But it was good. It was good.
And
Speaking,
so you was about to say something though. So what you about to say?
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know, you know what I'm saying, as far as how it all came about, but I feel like we got in competition with like China or something, bro, because they go to these damn national competitions, bro, and who could
who
do
the smartest?
Who the smartest? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah,
Like who?
yeah.
Shit, we need to find an angle. Who could do this? Like nah, bro. Like what's really gonna help you succeed in life? The average kid, bro. You know, you got kids that are gonna go to do the doctor and be a lawyer and gonna do the whole. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna go to that next level. But we know the average kid, the average person in America, bro, are gonna be. That's gonna be the working class,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I agree.
Build them up.
Speaking of Myrtle Beach history, got the Myrtle Beach fact of the week.
Yeah, for,
You know, we got off topic. So, Myrtle Beach fact of the week. The annual Black Bikers Weekend keeps Atlanta Beach alive. It started in 1980. It's officially called the Atlantic Beach Bike Fest and brings in more than 250,000 people to the town
crazy, bro.
every Memorial Day weekend.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I swear, it's a lot of people.
And it's said to be the 4th largest bike rally in America.
That's
So-
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
250.
good. Damn, that's a
250?
lot of people.
250.
Why they try to act like the
I'm pretty sure it's more now.
man? The country music
Could
fest
be.
bring more than that, and they got more police for the bike.
Yeah.
Come on,
I ain't seen about 5 cops with the country festival, man.
Harley Week the week before.
They loaded.
Harley Week is the week before.
Bike week, boy, you see one every 10 yards.
Every 10
boy.
yards.
Every 10 yards, you see the boys walking by your truck.
You can't even. They make everybody take the same exit.
Yeah.
They shut down the roads and
yeah,
make you
the
take
loop.
Yeah, it's
the
all
whole
one way.
the loop.
I know I
all
went on
one
the
way.
crazy one, bro. I was like, yo, that country Carolina, I don't even know how to say it. The music fest, country music fest down in Myrtle Beach, bro. You can't tell me they ain't triple the amount of people down there, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You don't even know when
Definitely
it.
a lot.
A
Definitely
lot, bro.
I don't know the numbers, but I know it's a lot of
It's
people.
more
in
than
place.
250.
You could
Oh
be
yeah,
easily.
definitely.
It's probably 250 police.
And they start across the street where the sandbox at, where the volleyball go, and they block off the road, so they all the way on the road, all the way to the King Street, right? So they block the whole area off in number of people.
Number of people, bro.
Yeah, so you can't even drive down the bully because they got that. You know that's part of the party.
Like you ever seen those aerial pictures, bro?
Yeah. The one they do from the zone, the drones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Any Black Bike Week memories, y'all?
Shoot, boy, I got a plenty. Boy, I remember I was about. I said, let me see. I know. See, God bless the dead. My cousin Marlon, right? See, Marlon used to live on Race Path, and every Black Bike Week, man, he had his truck. Man, he'd load all my cousins up, man. We went, probably was in middle school, or elementary. I can't remember, but it was about 15 of us piled up on the back of the truck. Man, he'd let us off down in Atlantic Beach, and this was the hot boy. This was the hot boy here. So this was in the 90s, right? Late mid 90s. So back then, man, you go to all the different booths, and you buy your tapes. This is tapes. See, this way before you guys time. So you buy tapes. You buy tapes and CDs during this time, right? So my cousin, right? He'd be talking to the, to the guy who's selling the tapes and this and that. And when my cousin, we steady passing tapes back. So by the time we leave, man, we done got the new Hot Boys tape. We done got the new Lil Wayne tape. But we done got, you know what I'm saying? So we used to hit them up, man. So go back and rock all the new music, man. But we had a lot of good time, man. We just run around and buy them turkey legs and just have a good time, man. Because back then it wasn't a lot of fighting and people ain't getting to it out there.
Right.
It was more so just. No matter where you from, but if you was out there, it was like love, all family.
Right.
Everybody enjoyed everybody. Yeah,
Black
yeah.
excellence.
I know them boys used to hit
Yeah.
him with that counterfeit back in the day on
Yeah.
Black Bike Week. Went out there and terrible.
Yeah,
That counterfeit money.
Shoot.
Right, yeah.
Back in the day, I remember one of my people was telling me about that. Like, shit, man, Black Bike Week. Shit, we
kind
going out
of
there with
counterfeit?
$5,000 worth of counterfeit money and have a ball. Getting everything.
Damn. Hey, shit, I went down up, man, because everything moving so fast and a lot going on. Ain't nobody really be knowing, but
Have a ball down
them
there.
boys get off on them.
All right.
Oh,
Coach Duke, I got a question for you.
what's up, man?
So, what's your advice to, 33-year-old Coach Duke?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's your advice to 16-year-old what I'm saying?
Coach Duke.
Before you was Coach Duke.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Before the doctorate.
Right.
What's your advice, you know what I'm saying, as, you know what I'm saying, older, you know what I'm saying, now, you got some skin in the game.
Right.
What's your advice to the younger, you know what I'm saying, the younger you?
Younger me? Shit, I just tell myself, man, because, you know, if I got, you know, I look back all the time, man, and just to see who I was and how I moved and how I did certain things. I just tell myself, man, just keep going. Don't never stop. Don't never become complacent. And, which I never did anyway. So, I just tell myself really to keep doing what I was doing. Because, I was a dog, man. I was hungry all the time, man. And I was just always separated from the pack for the most part. Just because, because when I wanted something, I always went and got it. I went and got it. I grind for it. Because I wasn't never the smartest. I wasn't never the, I didn't have all the book smarts, this and that, right? So all I had was work ethic. And that's what separated from everyone around me.
Right.
Because I knew how to grind and go get it.
Right.
And I just tell myself,
You knew
keep
what
going.
it took.
You
knew what it took. If I keep doing this, eventually something
Something
good
gotta
gonna
shake.
happen out of
Something gotta
this.
shake.
Something gonna shake.
Because, see, you learn early, man, because you can't ask nobody for nothing.
Right.
Because everybody around you going through the same struggle.
Right.
So you learn early, I got to grind in order for me to
Shine.
right?
Right. Grind in order to shine.
So once you learn that at an early age, it's all you know.
Yeah.
So once you get a little older, you still got that same mindset. Nothing changes. That's the foundation of me. Right? So I just build upon it.
That's dope. That's
So
dope.
what's your message to the youth?
My message to the youth is young ladies and, young guys, just whatever it is you want to do. It ain't about where you from. It ain't about what's in front of you right now, right? So if you say you want to be a nurse, right? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to research what it takes to be a nurse, right? And then once you understand what it takes for you to be a nurse with the education realm of it, I want you to come back to where you at now, and I want you to start game planning. Start game planning. Make a monthly plan on what you got to do this month in order for you to. Because, see, the thing is, we get so caught up and lost on the goal that's all the way over here.
Right.
Yeah.
So we lose sight on what's in front of us at that moment. Because the thing of my life, it ain't no one big goal we're supposed to do.
Right.
It ain't no one big goal we're supposed to accomplish. We got to take advantage of the goals, the short-term goals that's in front of us right now. Because you may be in high school.
Right.
So your first goal right now is I got to finish high school. Right? So I got to do everything it takes for me right now in this moment to finish high school. Now I can look up once I finish high school and see how far I got to go and what's next towards that nursing degree. So now that first year, you find out what you got to do that year. And then you take your time monthly and do what you got to do. Then the second year, you do the same thing. The second year, this is what I got to do this year. Now I got I got a little more interns coming up. So, okay, boom. But then you work on that. Then by the time you're senior year, you're a nurse because you did everything you need to do. You kept your eyes on the prize, even though it's way over here, but you kept your eyes on the prize, on the things that's in front of you daily, and you executed and got through it. Because when we constantly looking down the road, that, we're going to miss all the grinding that we got to do right now, and we're going to fail along the way because we lose sight of the things we got to take care of first in order to get there. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's what we got to do.
It's a word called duality. And it's basically you're not stuck in the past, but you're able to know where you come from.
Right.
Remember where you came from and be able to acknowledge the past, right?
Absolutely.
But also you looking forward to the future.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know what I'm saying, the youth have the duality and work your plan and plan your work.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely,
Right.
man.
Right. You don't want to burn yourself out. We talked about that earlier. You don't want to burn. You don't want to burn yourself
I'm doing
out.
a 100-meter dash, man. We trying to run at 30. The race they used to have at the track meet that we sit around, man. Damn.
Long distance, 800 millimeters, 1600 millimeters.
We run 100 to 200 in the 4x1. That's the only thing. 100, 200, 4x1. That's all we know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Damn, man.
And that's really what it is, man. Life, man, we think we here for one thing. I don't believe in that we just here for one thing or one big thing.
Right.
Like, God give us blessings and challenges every day that we have to get through because that's part of who you are, and that's part of life, and that's part of your mission.
Right.
Accomplishments and go. Just every day is a blessing. Every day is an opportunity for whatever God brings your way, and you got to recognize that, right? A lot of people think, "Oh, I'm just here for this one big thing. I'm just supposed to be a lawyer." That's it. No, it's like it's different things every day that God give us that we got to accomplish, and it's important that we paying attention and understanding that. 'Cause that's another thing too. My faith is everything. My faith is everything, and I said, I put my faith in God, not anything else. That's who I trust. That's who I deal with. That's who I trust to lead my way, lead my path. So when I make certain decisions, if I don't feel it in my heart, if I don't feel like that's what God want me to do, I don't do it.
Right.
I gotta have some kind of confirmation from Him for me to understand that this is the route I need to take.
Right. How has that worked out for you?
You see where I'm at now.
All right.
Right.
Hey, it's faith, man. You got to have it,
You
man.
gotta have that faith. You gotta believe in something bigger than you.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we human, this and that, but at the same time, you gotta have something that you believe in that's bigger than you.
Right.
Got to.
That's dope.
That's what keep you going.
Yes, sir.
Real for real.
Yes, sir.
Man, we've been going 55 minutes strong, man. Coach Duke,
Yes, sir,
man.
man.
Glad to have you here. Thank you for
Appreciate
this
y'all.
good
Absolutely.
conversation. You know what I'm saying? As they
Absolutely.
say, conversation rule the nation.
Conversation, man, and
Absolutely.
the things we talked about today, man, is somebody out there that been wanting, man, like, dang, man, I wish I could sit down and talk to Coach Dukes about his whole journey, his
Right,
whole story,
right.
and that's gonna motivate that. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna motivate the next generation, bro.
Right,
And
yeah.
it's never
Yeah.
it's never a What's the word I'm looking for? It's never a occurrence where somebody could really sit down for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And talk to you like, dang, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So we definitely appreciate you for stopping by, man, and for sure, man. Anytime you want to stop by again, come through.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because we could sit down, you know what I'm saying? We could sit down and talk about, hell, who better out of LeBron James and Kobe? You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, stop
I
by.
won't have much. I don't really watch. Honestly, man. I've watched football. I don't really watch basketball, man. But I'm
Anytime.
a Jordan guy anyway, so
Yeah.
I ain't gonna never tell you anybody better than him. So that won't be much of a conversation for me. But
It's anything, man.
definitely
you know?
though, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. Allowing me to use your platform just to motivate and encourage our youth, because that's what it's about.
What it's about, man.
That's
for
what it's
sure.
about.
For sure, man. Hey,
Yes, sir.
make sure y'all don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, man. We need it, man.
Hey, man. Episode 8. Man, it's a good way to end it, man. Coach Duke, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
y'all,
man.
man.
Coach Dukes, Kings to the City, man. We out of here. Yes,
We
sir.
outta here, man.
There we go.
Yes, sir, buddy.
That was good, man. I enjoyed that, man. You boys was on it, boy.
Yes, sir.